The Collegio is the effort of a group of a lot of students. It's the culmination of a lot of work from various different disciplines these students bring to their jobs. Uh, it starts with the editor who presents the assignments to various writers and photographers. It starts with ideas among the whole staff. When they get together at a weekly staff meeting, they come up with ideas for stories, with events that we need to cover, things they know about the campus that we need to cover or uncover. And it starts with that, and then the students go out and interview people on campus. They take pictures of the people on campus, and they come back with a story. And that's not the end of it, that's actually the beginning, because then we have a copy editor who will read that story and look for holes in the things that we should cover in the story that we didn't, things people we should interview in that story that we didn't interview. Um, then the photographer has to look at that story, and he has to show in pictures what the story is telling in words. Um, and in the end, the designer puts it all together so that everything works together: the headline, the story, the photos, the cut lines, and anything else, whether it's graphics or info boxes or any other element of that package, that they all work together for one singular message to be presented to the reader. My job title formally is Director of Student Publications. The university puts me in charge of this department. As far as the students are concerned, though, I'm the advisor. And that is, I'm here to help them in any way I can, in any way they want me to. I don't control the content of the paper, that's entirely up to them. Uh, I don't tell them what to do, what stories to cover, what stories not to cover. I don't do that. That is not my job. I'm not a censor. I don't give stories prior approval or disapproval. That's not my job. My job is just to help them do what they want to do and do it in a journalistically correct way, in a legally correct way, and in a fair way, so that everyone who is involved or is affected by that story feels, after they've read that story, that it was fair. And people have questions all the time. They come into me. They come to me and ask which way they proceed. They could come to me and ask me how they can do their story better than what it is, or they can ask me to read their stories before they file. That's fine. I can do that. I can help them in the writing process. All of that, whatever they want me to do, I can do. I can help them in whatever way they want me to help them. Our publication night, first of all, is Wednesday night, and our design department and several other staff members, including the editor and the photo editor and sports editor, are here till the very end of the show, which is Wednesday night.
Honestly, what I hate most about Wednesday night is that I feel like I'm out of my character. Like, I like to think of myself as a happy-go-lucky, fun-loving person, and on Wednesday nights, the other side of me comes out. There's a devil. There's a devil inside of me that comes out, and sometimes, unless things are going smoothly. If things are going smoothly, I can be myself, but I have to kind of switch the light switch, and then become somebody else that I don't like that person. And when I get stressed out, I feel like I'm out of my character. Because when people don't get their things done, when one person doesn't do their job, it directly affects everybody else. The newspaper is like a chain, so if I don't do my job to get the reporters their stories, then the reporters can't do their job. And then sometimes the photographers can't do their job if the reporters aren't doing their job, and then it all goes down to Wednesday night when the designers are sitting at the computer. And when the designers don't have the material, they can't put the paper together. So it's a big chain, and if one link in the chain is broken, then everything messes up.
Our design manager, Zach Anderson, is his responsibility to ensure that our pages are done correctly for printing purposes. Things have to be done a certain way. Pages have to be created a certain way, and they have to be PDF'd a certain way, that is formatted a certain way. Then we send the pages electronically. We place the pages on our printer's server, and then our printer, which is the Neosho Daily News, they'll make plates out of those pages, put those plates on the press, and configure the press in a way that allows us to have the color where we want the color. And then were printed 5,000 copies. As the papers run off the press, the first few hundred probably, I'm not sure how many, but the first few hundred are wastage. That is, the ink isn't on there right, and they make adjustments to the press to make sure the ink is on correctly, so that's evenly distributed throughout the web and things of that nature. But 5,000 copies are printed, they're delivered, and we send the paper out on the server about midnight on Wednesday night, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. By Thursday morning, they're here at our doorstep.
The circulation manager, that one's the grunt job. That one's, taking newspapers to all the buildings on campus, tech center, and then all the off-campus ones. I also do the bulk mailing, so all the papers we, mail out to all the surrounding high schools and colleges and stuff like that. And then, parents who've signed up for, to get the newspaper every week, we send those all out. Pretty much do all that Thursday after the newspapers get delivered from Neosho. That one's the real easy one because it doesn't really take much brain power. It's just walking. That's the worst part of it. And then carrying all the newspapers from here to there. So, and then all the extras I get, we take up to the recycling center when I have time to get to the recycling center. So, pretty much that's out the gist of that job.
I pride myself. I know that there's been better editors than I am, but I think I pride myself most on building those connections with my staff. I like to do social events. I like our potlucks. We have potlucks where we have everybody bring different types of food, and we go bowling. Sometimes we have movie nights, and as silly as it sounds, I feel like those social events bring the staff together, and overall, it just makes for a better product. I probably love it for all of the wrong reasons because I like the connections that I make. I love interviewing people and getting to know new people. I love the relationships that I build with people on staff. And I feel like we've become a family over the last year, and it's going to be like living a family whenever I leave. It makes me sad. Well, first of all, to the community, read the paper on Thursdays when it comes out, because you would not believe how much blood, sweat, and tears go into this paper every week. And I mean that. I mean, there are a lot of tears. I mean, we put our lives into it. This paper is our lives. And people reading it is why we do it. So my advice, my plea to everybody in the community is read our product, because we put our life into it. And to the Collegio staff, keep your head up, because when one person gets down, it is a trickle effect that affects the entire staff. And when one person's down, everybody gets down, and that affects the product overall. That's for everybody. Every year of the Collegio. not just this year.